Peter, do I inspect before I put my house on? Because I get this question all the time. Or should I wait until I'm under contract and the buyer inspects?
Regardless of what you do, it's going to be a double-edged sword.
Hi, welcome back to Really Mary. Today I'm with my dear friend, Peter Huy, our legal eagle from Huy Jacob P.A., and we're talking about inspections. Peter, do I inspect before I put my house on? Because I get this question all the time. Or should I wait until I'm under contract and the buyer inspects?
Regardless of what you do, it's going to be a double-edged sword. So a lot of it's just going to come down to what are your customers' goals? What kind of personality do they have? Are they ready to go with the flow if a buyer gets an inspection and some things turn up and they've got to quickly, turn on a dime to address these issues, or be in a situation where they have to escrow after closing? Or are they the type, do they want to know everything that's going on with the house? They want to tie that buyer up as fast as possible. They want to know that there just are no inspection items, but they both come with their pros and they also have, their cons.
Yeah. So I have a lot of people that say, no, I want to know. And I will come in with a con of that, which is?
Well, once you know.
You disclose.
And you may have to disclose.
Yeah.
And the root of that is, in these standard contracts, there are representations that the seller makes in one of the standards that basically says that of no issues that would materially affect the value of that property.
Yeah.
And if you find out because you inspected prior to having a buyer come in and you don't address that issue and you don't disclose, and the buyer finds out about it, you could be in, for a potential liability.
Right now, it's a hot topic because we've come out of Ian almost 2 years ago, 2+ years ago. It feels like it's forever. And there's all these red stickers that are going up everywhere in Cape Coral because the homes, many were below elevation and FEMA's coming in. It's a little bit different topic, but it goes back to permitting. When I'm going to sell, if I have things that weren't permitted, then what do I do?
Well, it depends if you permitted it or if a prior owner permitted it.
Or didn't permit.
And there's a knowledge component there. So if you go get an inspection report prior to listing and the inspection report turns up unpermitted work that you now know about, you are obligated to disclose that unpermitted work. If you did the work, there's no way out of it. Unless you've got well, let me go back. There is a way out of it. You disclose.
Okay. You disclose, and you have some language, right? That some of your clients have used with unpermitted work?
From time to time, yes. So particularly with the older houses where there's been, multiple prior owners.
Right.
And you really don't know what went on with the prior owners and what they did. And you may suspect something, but you don't know. And so, occasionally we will include language that just basically says, hey, buyer, we're putting you on notice. This house is relatively old. We've had a lot of prior owners. There may have been some work done. We don't know. But it's on you, buyer, to do your own due diligence, to do your own inspections, and only rely on your due diligence and your inspections and not my representations with regard to this property.
So I know that was a lot of words. It was a lot of words for me. It goes back to how do I feel about getting that inspection report and, knowing that there's something and then having to disclose it, or waiting until the buyer comes up with whatever his, list of things are and then defending them, refuting them or getting them fixed at that point.
Now, on the flip side, if a buyer comes back with an inspection report and seller didn't get it done prior to, at least from what I've seen and with your team, at least, you guys are pretty efficient and expedient on addressing, anything that's in a buyer's inspection report. Very rarely is there a situation where, the inspection item can't be addressed.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it depends on what your customer's goals are. But if they do wait for the buyer to come back with an inspection report, it's certainly not the end of the world. And, most of the time, the vast majority of the time, the seller will wait for the buyer to get an inspection report.
You heard it here first. It depends. Should you get an inspection report before or should you wait till the buyer? It really depends on you. So we'll look forward to talking to you about it. You can certainly talk to Peter. We'd love to help you through that process. Again, I'm Mary Bartos, the Bartos Group of Premier Plus Realty.
Peter Huy with Huy Jacob P.A.